I slept 8 hours, felt completely fine, genuinely good morning, and then I was at brunch with friends, and one of them looked at me and said, "Oh no, are you okay? You look exhausted." I wasn't tired. I hadn't cried. I'd slept a full 8 hours the night before. But apparently my face never got that memo, and I spent the rest of brunch quietly convinced something was wrong with my body. Hi Sunshines, I'm Andrina. Let's get your glow back because that happened more times than I can count after that, and for the longest time, I had no idea why. Early bedtime, 8 hours tracked on my phone, like a science experiment, and still the same tired eyes staring back at me. Nothing changed. And honestly, lovelies, it made me feel a little defeated. Like I was just one of those people destined to look tired forever, no matter what I did. Here's what actually changed everything for me. Sleep was never the problem. My drainage was. Let me explain, because once this clicked, it clicked hard. The skin under your eyes is some of the thinnest skin on your whole body. Right underneath it sits a tiny drainage system, blood vessels, lymphatic fluid, basically a little highway that's supposed to keep moving. When that drainage works, nothing pools and your under eyes stay calm. When it slows down, fluid just sits there instead of moving through. That pooling is what shows up as darkness and puffiness even on a perfect night's sleep. So you can sleep flawlessly and still look exhausted, sunshines, because the real question was never, did I sleep enough? It was, is that drainage actually moving? And so much slows it down without you noticing. Salt the night before, which makes your body hold fluid. Allergies, which inflame the area and slow everything. Hours of screen time. Even sleeping flat versus slightly elevated changes how much fluid settles there overnight. Now, I want to slow down here because this shows up really differently depending on your skin, and I don't want anyone feeling like this video wasn't made for them. If you've got fair skin, darkness usually reads as blue or purple. You're literally seeing those blood vessels sitting closer to the surface through thinner skin. If you've got a deeper skin tone, it often shows up more brown, and that's leaning more toward pigmentation than pure pooling, which means it responds a little differently. Brightening ingredients tend to help more there than cold therapy alone. If you deal with allergies regularly, puffiness might honestly be the bigger story for you than darkness is, and that's worth treating as its own thing. None of these versions are worse than another. Cuties, they're just different flavors of the same backed up system, and the fix shifts slightly depending on which one is yours. So what actually gets the drainage moving again? Cold works, genuinely, not because it's trendy, but because it tightens blood vessels and reduces pooling almost instantly. A cold spoon, a chilled gel mask. Even cold water splashed under your eyes in the morning. Gentle lymphatic massage helps 2 light sweeping motions from the inner corner outward. 1 minute, nudges that fluid along instead of letting it sit. Sleep slightly elevated, even 1 extra pillow, so fluid doesn't settle there overnight in the first place. And cut the salt the evening before. I was shocked the first time I actually tested that one myself. None of this is overnight, sunshines, but 2 or 3 of these, done consistently for a week or 2, and you'll likely see your under eyes calm down even on a completely normal night's sleep. And I'll say this honestly, if your darkness or puffiness feels severe, sudden, or just never budges no matter what you try, mention it to a dermatologist. Sometimes there's a pigmentation or structural piece underneath that needs more than at-home fixes. Zero shame in getting that checked instead of guessing forever. I wish someone had told me this back at that brunch table, instead of letting me spend the rest of the day convinced I looked as wrecked as I felt fine. It was never about how much rest I got. It was always about whether that little system under my eyes was actually doing its job. So sunshines, if you've ever felt completely fine and still looked exhausted in the mirror, ask yourself honestly, is it really sleep? Or is it drainage that's quietly backed up? Let me know in the comments if this is you too, and which skin tone version sounds most like yours. Bye bye, sunshines.